It is quite crazy that we have 3 more races left for F1, where with MotoGP now, this weekend, we had the last race of the season.
Nice transition. Nice,
That's what I thought when I was gearing up for to say it. So, yeah, we had in Valencia this weekend, we had the last race of the season.
Yes.
And we both have fallen off a little bit of watching MotoGP due to, work, being sick, and then also the championship kind of being over, and then Mark not being there anymore.
Yes.
However, you, per usual, did your work.
Yes, I did.
Sat down and watched the sprint race.
Yes. No, I was like, okay, I definitely have to watch this last weekend's race. I did miss it a little bit too, and I felt bad because there were some really great races happening. I mean, we both missed Raul Fernandez's big first win.
Today we went back and watched like the last few laps of
I really wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Because I was really excited, of course, for him.
Trackhouse winning a race?
And
Come on, dude.
Yeah, and then just a couple races prior, he was the first time on the podium.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what an incredible season for him. So I did wanted to, go back and see that, and then also just experience the last race weekend. Of course, like we said, Mark had already taken the championship.
And he would have won the championship regardless, even if he would have not won it at that point. He still had enough of a gap to win it. He's still leading, obviously, the championship, but by quite a big margin.
Exactly. But he was there this weekend just to support. He's in slow rehab right now.
I thought it was very ambitious when they said that. I think the team principal or whatever was like, oh, we're looking for him to come back in Valencia. Yeah. And I was like,
no.
That shoulder did not look attached.
No, and also like
there's no point.
Yeah, and he said like the bone is healed mostly, I think he said, but it's the ligaments that take a lot more time. And then there was also, of course, the worry about did it impact some of his older injuries, which luckily it didn't, which is good. But anyway, so I definitely wanted to go in and watch this race weekend. I'm gonna get the sad thing. I'm gonna say quickly, Pecco had a horrible weekend. I'm so glad his season is over.
I mean, yeah, it was. Some people were saying it's the perfect ending to how his season was going. Horrendous.
Yeah, I mean,
and I feel just bad that you couldn't even just have a decent race. I wasn't even expecting you to win it, but maybe like a top 5 finish would have been nice.
Yeah, I mean, granted, qualifying went bad for him because there was technical issues, so it wasn't even his fault.
There was like smoke coming from the Ducati or something like that.
I didn't see it. I just heard them talk about it. Then Joan Zarco crashed him out during, was that the sprint race?
That was the main race.
Oh, was that the main race?
Yeah.
Sorry, they were kind of mixing and mingling in my head. But I mean, it was just a horrible weekend for him.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's over the season. I mean, granted, they do have testing again on Tuesday for 2026. But the commentators were also talking about maybe the guys will just let him just not do it. And just let him, give him a break. Let him recalibrate for the new season.
I hope he can just write this off. I mean, we both talked about it, and you pointed this out, that what an insane season for the 2 championship fighting contenders from last year's season, right? We had, for different reasons, absolutely horrendous seasons. For Jorge Martin, obviously starting off with a terrible injury, then getting injured again, and then getting injured again.
Yes. And then this weekend was his first race back since Japan, since he crashed out and took out Bez with him in the first lap of Japan. This was his first weekend back, but then he also didn't finish the race because
the team said
apparently the team
said. That's what I had read too.
Yeah, so that's fine. I mean,
just, you didn't need to just get some time on the bike.
Yes.
Whatever. Like, there's no point in you racing around and then maybe even like not feeling up to it. And I know that he's like a competitor. He's probably like, I wanna do this, but this is not the time. And there's no reason for you to like risk another injury or like something else.
And especially because we know the bike works.
Yeah.
Bez is having an excellent season. Yeah. He ended up coming in 3rd overall in the Rider Championship now. So, I mean, we know it works.
Yeah.
So he just needs to heal up and then hopefully he can use the bike and have some success next season. And then maybe we have several people competing for the Rider Championship and not just Mark riding away with it and winning several races ahead.
I had this thought, which it sounds a little bit mean, but not that I'm happy that, by no way am I happy that Mark got injured, but I did think that because Mark got injured, it kind of gave other people the moments to shine. Because I don't think it's far-fetched for me to say that him to have continuously have to finish out his season really, really great and probably scoop up another couple wins would have not been, it's not out of pocket for me to say that.
No.
And it kind of gave, other people a moment to shine.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Raul Fernandez would have not won, but the chances are that Mark would have given him a run for his money, probably.
All the races would have been very different,
right? Because you have Marc Marquez, that is a huge factor in who, and then also because Mark was just has been setting these records after records this season, and it would have been just another record that he would have said. It's like that always, it was nice that other people got a moment in the light.
Yes, yes. And this weekend we had Bez on the podium again. We had Alex on the podium again. We had Raul Fernandez on the podium again. Digi on the podium again. So Digi. So it was. I thought both races were entertaining. They were not the best races of the season by any means, just because also Valencia doesn't lean itself to it. And that was one of the things I was thinking about. Also, we talked about it briefly, and also it works also in terms of Formula One.
Bless you. Cut it out.
Jeez, excuse me. But there are several races on the calendar in Formula One and also in MotoGP where it's always going into the weekend. Oh, yeah, this is a track where overtaking is notoriously difficult or impossible. And I'm like,
why is this track
on the list? Obviously, there's also a limited amount of tracks that are.
There's a lot of tracks in the world.
No, there are a lot of tracks in the world, but there's certain requirements that go into a track to be able to house a F1 or a MotoGP race, just because
also
of money, layout, audience, hospitality facilities, all these things, But it's just there's several tracks on the calendar every year where it's always the same argument, and then that automatically makes a race just not as.
It's very interesting because you could bring the argument. It's we want maybe some tracks on there that are a little bit more difficult,
of course.
But I'm with MotoGP, I don't have as big of a gripe with it currently as I have with F1 and the street tracks. And I'm fuck off with this bullshit.
But I just thought about it because they kept talking about it, that it's so difficult.
I get it,
and we did see it. It took many laps for somebody to pass, although they clearly had the stronger pace. And it's just, if you put the bike in the right position, there's just no place for you to overtake. And yes, part of it makes it interesting. Yeah. But part of it also is just, it's a little bit annoying.
Yeah,
I'm kind of conflicted how I feel about it. But then, like you said, it happens more frequently in Formula One. Yeah. Which is.
It's not good.
No.
But I will say you could argue with MotoGP, and I don't have an opinion on it yet. Is where it's it's kind of cool that you have maybe tracks that defensive drivers can who are very good defensively, who can gain a bigger advantage from that. And I think that's cool.
Yes.
Because then it also shows if you're faster, then overtake. You know, that's my big thing is if you're faster, then pass. You don't really have that in MotoGP where they're as extreme with team orders as they are in F1, which the teams are allowed to do it, but sometimes I'm bro.
Yeah.
If you're faster, then pass, dude.
Yes.
But I get what you're saying though. As I said, with MotoGP, I don't have as big of a gripe with it currently as if I have with F1.
Yes.
I think F1 also has now this big thing right now with DRS where it's if you're not within DRS, there's no pass happening. And then if you're in a DRS train, there's probably no pass happening.
Yes.
So it's already a systematic thing.
Yes.
That's an issue, but yeah.
Yeah. No, but it was just a thought that I had that it's interesting that's always, or not always, but often it's just something that's talked about.
Yeah.
And I'm well, then let's do something about it.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, obviously.
Obviously, because I don't know. I'm assuming probably MotoGP is a little bit cheaper to host than F1.
Yeah, but then there's certain requirements about the track. You have to have enough runoff space because when you see them crashing out, there can't be a wall anywhere close.
Yeah, and depending on the track layout and stuff like that, it could make things a little bit more difficult. I am still hoping, I have this hope that maybe in 20 latest 2030 or something like that, we might get like a Germany GP back on.
Like, especially now with Audi being back.
With Audi being back, you have Mercedes, and then we have one German driver on the grid who's doing quite well. But also then we have the renewal and the renovations that they do on the Hockenheim Ring. Hockenheim Ring. I am trying to say it like English German. So I'm hoping that would bring it back in, because it's like, yeah, let's get rid of one of the street tracks and introduce a track that is also, I think, well liked.
Yes.
Back into the cycle. Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, but I guess we shall see.
We shall see.
I mean, I think there's the one thing I wanted to talk about for this weekend's race was right at the beginning of the ValenciaGP. Like after the warm-up lap, everybody's getting back into their slots, and then Morbidelli crashes into the back of Luca Marini and ended up even breaking his hand.
Yeah, a left hand fracture.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, there was like, when you watch the replay, it's like, bro, were you not paying attention?
He wasn't.
Like, no, because I mean, Luca Marini didn't stop anywhere where he wasn't supposed to stop.
He stopped in his
in his slot, and then I don't know if Frankie wasn't like clearly not paying attention, but was he like not aware that that's where he was going to stop? Or
I thought, if I remember this correctly, that the spot in front of Luca was still open. So maybe he thought Luca was starting from there, because I can't remember which starting position
I thought that was Frankie's position.
So, okay, so I think he was probably in La La Land.
Yeah.
Maybe he was like thinking about how to attack.
But
it looked insane.
So funny,
and
because
also Luca was like, what the fuck, dude?
Because I don't think you caught it at the beginning, because I was like, because they had shown like a wide from the front, how they do it right before the lights go on.
No, I saw it, and the bike was on the ground. And then I was like,
in the back, I was like, oh my gosh, there's a VR46 on the ground. Yeah. I was like, what happened? And then they showed a replay, and of course, Frankie ended up not finishing the race, or he immediately went in because he was just injured. But I'm like,
I will say, and I don't know if I'm being overtly harsh on this, this is not something that should be happening.
No.
This is like, because not only like, did you do something, this is like I get, we all get like distracted about things, but this is literally your job. But also you fractured your hand. I mean, you're lucky this is the end of the season, but that's insane. Like, so I think he's now not able to participate in the test because of,
and then his teammate had an excellent race weekend. Yeah. DG being on the podium for both races. Yeah. For the sprint and the thingy and the Grand Prix. So it's like, but yeah, it was.
I do also wanted to point out, this is something that, I mean, maybe this puts a little bit more fire underneath him, but that Pedro Acosta did miss out on the podium at the end because of a mistake. It seems like something that he is still like, maybe like mentally, where he's still making like these little mistakes here and there. And
I mean, granted, the Ducati of the VR46 is fast. Also, I think in certain aspects of the race. Yeah. But I'm just saying he was right there.
Yeah.
So I think DG potentially would have passed him anyways.
Well, I think this comes down to first that Pedro took quite a while to pass Alex Marquez, right? If he would have, because that ended up giving DG the chance to catch up back, because he had a gap.
But then that's again the thing about the track. The track, it is so impossible.
But then this is also maybe the thing where it's like, you know, he is in his second season, you know.
Which we also have to keep in mind.
We do have to keep that in mind.
Like, it's his second season.
But it's also... Furman, did he end up winning a race? No, Aldeguer?
Yeah, Aldeguer ended up winning a race this season.
He did?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Or was it a sprint race?
No.
Because in Austria, he came second. He didn't catch Mark.
One victory.
Yeah, okay. So it's like, this must also be pretty tough on Pedro, the guy who's in his first season.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, he's so competitive, you know?
No, of course.
And he's super passionate. But I do hope that he's able to, like, get his focus in there, because he is a guy who's clearly super talented and who can, you know, win races. Yeah. It's just, like, I think it's this thing where it's, like, it just has to, like, happen once, and then, like, the
yeah, but there's also, popped. I think there's a sense of, I mean, this is me talking as an outsider, but it's like sometimes it's a sense of patience and calmness, maybe. Because he even said it, that he gets heated.
Yeah,
he has a little bit of a temperament. It's gotten better over the years. But then I don't know how he is, and then those situations when he has DG breathing down his neck, and then you make that little mistake, and that's exactly what.
This is all also things that you have to learn. Obviously, maybe next time he wouldn't, try to push it as much, and maybe does a little bit more of a conservative line.
Because then he had, I think at the beginning, and it's still something that he's working on about tire degradation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like figuring that out, how to maintain a tire. Like those are all the things that you learn, and it's a difference from Moto2 to MotoGP. And so I don't know. I'm excited.
I will say, like, I think one of the first things I said after the race was over is that I'm so excited for next season already, because
I can't believe the season is over.
First of all, I can't believe it's already over. I get that also with like bikes, they probably they start earlier than F1.
I can tell you when the next season starts.
And then you also have obviously, like, the later it is in the year, because they do a lot of Europe races, like the weather is gonna get bad, you know, eventually. That's just what it is, or it's not gonna be ideal for racing. But I am really excited, because I think if we have next year, if we can have Jorge Martin coming back and feeling really strong, right?
Yes.
I would actually think that, especially maybe in the beginning, that Bez will definitely do better than him, because Bez has been on the bike so much better. And the second half of Bez's season was just so phenomenal. And I'm so happy for him. And I'm very excited to see what he has in store next year.
Because he's also just such a vibe.
He
seems like a cool good guy, time, and he's enjoying it. But yeah, I'm excited for Jorge. I'm excited for Bez, and then Mark, Alex, hopefully Pecco, Pedro, maybe even Furman. In there. I mean, we've had several, and we had 7 different race winners this season.
Will be not on the new Ducati bike.
Here, let me see. I have
I'm pretty sure Furman. I think Alex is going to be on the new Ducati, but not Furman. I think Furman did not get the new bike, the new Ducati for next year.
But they're both on the Gresini next year.
Yes. But I think Alex gets the newer bike, the newer Ducati, and which well deserved. He's been doing really well, and I don't think Furman is getting the newer bike.
Interesting.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I had read that he's not getting the newer bike, that he's going to be on a 1 year older model.
Interesting. I don't know. I have to read up on it.
Because I think also, I don't think everyone from the VR46 team has the new Ducatis. I think only one of them has it. I'm not sure if next year both of them have it. But, maybe it's been a minute since I read about this. What I will also say, and we mentioned this, obviously, that Pecco had a terrible end to his season, but also that he dropped down all the way to P5 in the Riders' Championship. That's bad, dude.
Yes, I was also going to say very quickly, so yeah, of course we had Marc Marquez win, Alex second.
How many points?
467. Bez, Marco in third with 353.
No, sorry. How many points between Mark and Alex?
78. Yeah. And then Pedro Acosta is in fourth. And then Pecco Bagnaia is in fifth.
How many points are in between Pedro and Pecco?
Let me count this. 19?
That's quite a lot.
Yeah. And then, okay, so what I was going to say is, so the grid for next year is very similar to this year. The big new change is Jack Miller's teammate on the Pramac Yamaha racing team is going to be a Turkish motorcycle racer.
Razgul or something like that, who won the Superbike championship.
Ratskatiloglu?
Okay, I was way off with how to say it, but he won the Superbike championship.
Exactly, he won it in 2024 and 2021. He won the World Superbike championship.
And he was runner-up this year, I think?
I don't know.
I think he was at least leading it at some point, I thought.
Gotcha, but yeah, so he... so he's going to be on a MotoGP bike next season, which is exciting. I hope he does well. I'm excited to see how the transition for him goes, because obviously the bikes are very different. And
then what is it? Ayogura is leaving, and he's gonna be. He's switching to Superbike with Honda, right?
No, Ayogura is going to he's going to be Trackhouse, but Chandra. He's going to
Superbike. Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes, because everybody else. Oh, we have somebody else on next to Zarco. Morera is going to be in John Zarco's team, And then everybody else are people we know.
Okay.
So it's going to be, which is nice that we have a lot of familiar faces. Yeah. So especially for us as newer fans we can see how they develop. And there hasn't been quite as many changes. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think
last year we had quite a big changes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see how that develops. But yeah, I'm already really excited for next year. So the first race is going to be end of February.
Okay.
The last weekend of February going into March.
Okay.
So we'll have like 3 months off now.
Yeah, 3.5.
Yeah. Which is fine. Give them a break.
Yeah, and it's
let
also
them recover. Let them heal.
Yeah, let them all heal first of all. But it's also, as a fan, sometimes like distance does make the heart grow fonder.
No, of course, because it's a busy racing season, and especially also for people like us who do watch a lot.
Yeah,
sometimes it can be like, ooh. It's a lot of racing.
That's why one of the reasons I also don't watch the sprint race as much.
Yeah.
Even though I think a sprint race is more worth it in MotoGP, because also the main MotoGP race is not that long comparatively.
Yes.
And you sometimes have like standout performances. But for me, it's just like, wow, like it's just a lot to watch, and I'm planning on watching more next year.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's hard to find the time.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's getting less and less now already.
Yeah.
In terms of motorsport. I mean, a lot of race seasons have already come to an end.
Yeah.
Some of them
like WEC has ended.
Yeah. I mean, NASCAR has ended.
They already raced 78 weekends of the 52 in a year.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, lots of it has come. There's some, of course.
I think, is Indy almost over?
No, Indy's been over.
Indy has been over.
Been over for a while. And then, I mean, there's some smaller leagues that race over the winter break, especially the ones in like Oceania and things like that.
Because they also will start up actually pretty soon in December. We'll have, I think Formula 4 will have the 24-hour series probably doing their first race of the season already. They do the 24-hour race in Dubai, I think.
Yeah.
Because it works out with the temperatures.
Yes, exactly.
What I wanted to bring up is, so they had the, I don't know exactly what the word was, what the thing was. They had the MotoGP, no, not MotoGP, Motocross, Supercross in Argentina.
Yes, a couple weeks ago.
You know who swept it?
Who? Kenny?
Yep. Let's go. He won all the races.
Nice. I think they were in Vancouver this weekend, and Eli Tomac, I think, won a race there, which of course we love Eli.
Let's go, Eli.
Maybe we can go to one of the Anaheims in January.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be really nice.
Especially if the weather holds up.
Yeah. I mean, was it raining when we were there?
No, we got lucky because the Anaheim one was...
That is true. Yes.
A lot
but we'll see. I would love to go because it's just such a fun...
It's cool.
Event.
It's a lot of fun, yeah.
Super, super fun.
And it's relatively affordable.
Yeah. I would say so. And I mean, you have like many hours of action packed, and even in between races, you have either the mini races or you have the people going up on
doing the tricks.
And stuff like that.
I think the biggest thing was just the merch. I was like, why can't I find Kenny merch? Bro?
Oh,
what the
yeah.
heck is going on?
There was not a lot of merch, but we might have to go to the fan thing that happens before, and then they will have the merch and not in the stadium necessarily, which we didn't make last time. So
because I think it was working. Yes. Yeah, but anyways, I think this brings us to the end of this episode.
For sure.
We ended up talking a lot more than I thought we did, but I feel like that's always what ends up happening.
Yeah.
But there was few new things in F1, obviously.
Yes.
MotoGP now at the end of the season, and then next weekend we have the F1 Academy finale coming up. The F1 race in Vegas.
Yes.
We have a friend actually attending.
Yes.
Super exciting. I hope I hope she loves it.
Yeah, hope it's a great race for her. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it's a good race, and I maybe she'll get to see a cool overtake.
Yes.
Or two. That would be awesome. And I think that's it.
Yeah. So have a wonderful week.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys on Thursday with our What to Watch, so we can tell you everything else that happens this week, and probably not that much.
Probably not that
but
much.
There's definitely a couple things you can tune into.
Bye-bye.
Bye.